agenda to build a greater Israel and to wage wars of annihilation.
So all the old governments of the world are hiding one person in particular, the only guy who can stop World War III, yours truly, the guy who leads the First World Army to end national conflict, is marginalized and suppressed by every government in the world because they want wars to go on forever. Like what WikiLeaks talks about. Uh, they're profiting off of war. They want to sell their product, weapons and bombs, like Dwight D. Eisenhower warned about in his military industrial complex speech. So Trump is compromised by a foreign government. And by U.S. standards, that is treason 2381. You're not supposed to aid the enemy after the attack of the USS Liberty, JFK, and 9/11. But instead, you gave the enemy billions of dollars and lots of weapons after they killed the U.S. president, right? So you're cowards, America. You did not stand up to the guy that took out your president. You instead pushed in his chair like Donald Trump, right? So Israel wants to take over the world. That's something that America understands by brute force, not through the power of the public, not through the people, but by being a bully, by being a psychopath with bigger weapons, right? So the boomers thought that might made right. That's called Iron Mountain philosophy. They don't know anything else. They've never had good leadership, right? The world has never had good leadership till I came around. And I lead every military to end national conflict, something the boomers could not even fathom, right? Actual leadership, consolidation of every military in the world. They don't believe that's possible, right? They're constantly talking about having an enemy. Well, a true master has no enemy, right? You have lackluster leadership. That's why you don't lead every military in the world, right? You're a psychopath who likes to attack other nations, Benjamin Netanyahu. You like to use subversion. You like to use blackmail. You like to use bribery and gerrymandering. And you like to intimidate Trump with the golden pager, right? Hey, you can intimidate a U.S. president after killing one. Well, the world isn't going to fear you forever, right? You can't rule by intimidation forever. That just exposes the fact that you're not supposed to have any authority. You're not supposed to allow psychopaths to have leadership positions. I want you all as a planet to understand this. What happens in Generation X if you have a rogue nation who is attacking other nations, like Israel, like the US, violating international law, attacking Iran when they're not supposed to, attacking Lebanon when they're not supposed to, when Israel fires at the UN and they're not supposed to. Who actually enforces policy after that? Well, I do. I lead every military. I lead the First World Army because it's a no-ocracy republic in Generation X. The majority wants the smartest to lead, not the most popular candidate. That's when I come around and I start telling the truth. The US was taken over by a foreign country. It's been happening for decades. You just didn't notice it, America. No wonder American foreign policy has been misbehaving. It's been taken over. It's being micromanaged by a foreign country. Hey, Vietnam was never supposed to happen, right? You're not supposed to attack other nations. America has been misbehaving for a long time. It wasn't supposed to wipe out and topple the seven nations that Wesley Clark talked about, Iran being on the last of the list. You're not supposed to have a premeditated agenda to topple seven nations and go through with your plans on planet Earth. Okay? You have allowed psychopaths to run amok for too long. Benjamin Netanyahu is a rogue national leader. Accept the fact that he is a terrorist attacking other nations. He's taken over the United States. He's trying to take over the world using the United States. He's using Americans as war fodder. When we attack Iran, that's not in our best interest. That doesn't give us extra safety. No, that puts us in danger of thermonuclear blowback. It puts the entire planet in danger of thermonuclear Armageddon. And what is the only proactive measure for thermonuclear Armageddon? Yours truly. Leadership is your only proactive measure. And what happens in the idiocracy? Well, all the morons, all of you who are not me, make fun of your leader like you did in the movie. You make fun of the smartest person because you all want power. The smartest person's going to argue, though, that nationalism itself is mental illness, that religion is mental illness. We cannot have progress if nations continue to fight each other, all wanting the atomic bomb, all wanting to be the top dog by brute force. What if the smartest person tells you the first person to lead the world army tells you the truth that only cowards fight with lethal weapons? Is Pete Hegseth a big shot now with the Department of War? No, that's very brazen, right? He's just asking for trouble. No, you keep it the Department of Defense, dipshit. You hold a defensive posture. Are you trying to egg on every other country in the world to attack you? And then you want to call yourself the Secretary of Defense? What a joke. So that's called imposing command. When DC is taken over by a foreign power and you have somebody trying to lead the US military with the corrupted foreign policy, that's called imposing command. That's what Donald Trump and Pete Hegseth have. They only think they're in command of the US military. I have active command. I lead every military in the world, Donald Trump. You have violated international law. You are guilty of treason 2381 for aiding the enemy. Do you recognize that? Does Congress? If the Senate and Congress and the president are all compromised by a foreign power, do you listen to them? Do you give them audience? No, you do not. The U.S. ended 12 years ago in Cascadia, and they hid it from you. Hey, journalism died. Who really runs the media, right? The victors want to rewrite history and tell you a different story. But the U.S. ended based on American values. Any group at random will vote. They prefer the smartest be their leader rather than the most popular candidate. So all your elections worldwide are irrelevant. You're trying to find somebody smarter than I am by testing, and you can't do it. And you're butthurt that I'm smarter than all of you. And everybody hates me because they hate people smarter than them.